complained. Cody held up a red and white cardboard box from Cicero's. "We brought pizza." "What kind?" "Deluxe, no mushrooms." "Yes!" Rain abandoned the chorus line and danced across the room to Cody's side. "The golden ticket." "I told you it would work." Dan sauntered in, his eyes fixed on Jin. They weren't as openly affectionate as the teenagers, but Evie saw the look that passed between them, the hint of color that stole into Genevieve's cheeks when Dan reached for her hand. Their relationship was brand new, but Evie had no doubt that Dan and Genevieve would be the next couple walking down the aisle. She was happy for Dan, really, she was, but over the past few months their friendship, the one forged in the Moretti's sandbox when she and Dan were 3 years old, had been undergoing a subtle change, too. Genevieve was the one Dan spent time with now. The one Dan looked at the way Max used to look at her. Evie set the microphone down on the table. "It looks like everyone's ready for a break, so I should probably go. I still have a few last-minute things to do." Her announcement raised an instant chorus of protest. "But we just got here." Cody kept one arm around Rain's waist while he raised the lid on the takeout box. "It's kind of hard to be a party crasher if there isn't a party." "We could have a karaoke contest." Rain hip-checked Cody and snitched a slice of pizza before he could. "Guys against the girls." 2 guys, 2 girls, and Evie. She silently switched around the items on her to-do list. "I have to stop by the church and check out the centerpieces we're going to use on Saturday. I might have to make up a few more for the buffet table." "Do you need some help?" Jin asked. "Rain and I can go with you." "No, stay here. Eat pizza. It shouldn't take me very long." Evie grabbed her cardigan off the back of the chair. "Your grandparents will be here tomorrow afternoon, Cody. I invited them to the rehearsal dinner." "Are they staying with you?" "Not us. You." The footings under Evie's heart shifted again. Cody hadn't physically moved into the house that Dan's parents had offered to rent to him and Rain, but in Cody's mind, he'd already left. "Grandma said it will be easier if they stay at the bed and breakfast." Based on past experience, Evie knew what Betty really meant was that it would be easier on them. She glanced at Dan and saw the smile in his hazel eyes change to concern. More than anyone, he knew her relationship with her former in-laws had been strained since Max died. Well, maybe strained wasn't quite the word. Non-existent would be a better choice. Evie understood that everyone grieved differently, but it seemed like the Bennetts had simply decided not to do it at all. After Max died, Neil and Betty sold his childhood home and moved across the country. Unlike Evie's parents, missionaries to Uganda who could only fly back to the United States once every 4 or 5 years, Betty and Neil had the time and money to return to Wisconsin for regular visits. But coming back to Bannister Falls meant accepting the fact that Max was really gone. Annual Christmas cards and a phone call on Cody's birthday became a substitute for being part of their grandson's life, which was why Evie was a little shocked when Betty called to let her know they planned to attend the wedding. "I took the day off tomorrow." Dan followed her to the door. "Do you need help with anything? I can set up tables and chairs in the fellowship room, string up those little white lights you bought." Dan didn't ask out of habit. Helping people was embedded in the Moretti family's DNA. But out of habit, Evie almost said yes. She'd depended on Dan over the years, maybe more than she should have, but the friendship she and Genevieve had was new too, fragile. Evie didn't want to put any additional strain on it. "I left Harvey some notes before I took vacation time, and I'm sure he's got everything covered. You don't want to start a turf war." She looped the strap of her purse over one shoulder and looked at Jin. "Thank you for inviting me over. It was fun." "Then we'll have to do it again sometime." Laughter kindled in Jin's light green eyes, proof that Evie hadn't fooled her a bit. "Bye, Mom." Cody loped over and pulled her into a hug. "I'll see you later."